Hi everyone, welcome back. So we're going to now focus on the lips. It's the same technique, two-step process, following the directions and going from there. If you have not done the eye tutorial, no worries, you can continue to do the lips and then go back and do the eyes. So let's get started. Materials you're going to need are pencils, thin black marker, eraser, ruler, sharpener, and a blending tool. For your blending tool, you can use a Q-tip or tissue paper, anything that's smooth that you can kind of twist and roll up to use to blend with. And for pencils, obviously you can always just use a regular pencil, but if you do have drawing pencils, I'm using the HB, the 4B, and the 6B. The HB is great for outlining your shape because it's a hard pencil, and then the others are softer pencils, so they're great for blending as well as shading in dark areas. Okay, so let's start with practice 1. The first thing you're going to do is create a little V, kind of like the V between a mountain, and then you're going to connect the two ends of that mountain together, creating a curved line. From there, you're going to go ahead and do the same for the bottom. You'll take both ends and kind of create like a half circle. In that space, you're going to create another curved line, which then kind of starts to build out the shape of the bottom lip. From there, you'll take the two corners and draw a little V on both sides. Next, you're going to put in your center anchors and start to use that as an indicator to draw your teeth. As you can see, the teeth are really easy. They're just like tiny half rectangles, and then just make sure that as you're drawing that you use your HB pencil to darken the teeth and the outline of the mouth, and then you can switch your pencil to shade in that darker area inside where the tongue would be. The next step is to just put in your lines as well as the areas that you're going to be shading in your shadows. As you can see, I'm outlining the bottom part of the lip as well as the top part of the lip to say that's where my shadow is going to cast, and then in the center of the top lip and the bottom lip is going to be where the light source is hitting, so I'm going to leave that white. Use your pencil as well as your blending tool to just smudge the area out a little bit so that you can soften the pencil lines. What gives you the three-dimensional perspective is the varying of shades of black and gray that you apply to your drawing, as you can see demonstrated. So the more and more you blend out your hard lines and start to really delineate the dark areas and bright areas, that's when you start to create that value that then kind of makes the image pop off the page. So don't be afraid to keep slowly adding more layers and layers to your work, because that's what's going to really make it look realistic. We're coming to the end of this practice. I'm just now cleaning up and adding light shadows to really just define the top lip, and just cleaning up any area that I feel like isn't blending in correctly, and then as well as just making sure that my whites are really nice and bright and white. In practice 2, we're going to draw the similar type of mouth where the mouth is open, but you're going to see more teeth this time around. Let's start off by creating a cross, and then from there adding a V to the top of that cross, and then a little tiny line at the bottom of that cross. Then you will connect the top corners together alongside with the bottom corners together. Here it gets a little tricky. I want you to create another little V, maybe 1 or 2 centimeters down from the top of the lip, and start creating these little cloud-like pillows for the inside of the mouth. So you could just imagine if you had your mouth open and you were creating the wrinkles and the creases inside the mouth, and that's kind of how you do it, is by creating these little pillows. I am just making minor changes. I feel like I made the bottom lip a little too large, so I'm just making it a little bit smaller. And now I'm going to start to focus on the teeth. So in the first practice, it was these little tiny rectangles. Now you're going to do that for the bottom part of the teeth, but the top are going to be 2 or 4 squares, 2 small ones and 2 big ones. Now I switched my pencil to use the 6B, I believe, to kind of like darken the inside of the mouth. As you can see, like as you start to add different shades and value, you start to see that 3-dimensional perspective coming through. I scratched a little bit of my pencil on the side of my paper so that I can use it as a way to smudge and create my shadows. That's a really easy trick if you're just starting off and you're not really sure or comfortable with using the pencil to create your shadows. Another trick is I'm using a paintbrush to blend in my shadows. That makes it a lot smoother and cleaner, so feel free to try these tips out if you have access to those materials and utensils at home. So I'm just going in and adding my shadows, and then I'm using my pencil to kind of darken the crease of the mouth, the outlining the top of the bottom lip. Because when you think of your light source, if the light is hitting you directly, where the light is hitting on top of that is going to be darker, and so therefore that's what creates that shadow. We are now at the end of the illustration. Now it's just really like your aesthetic. You can go in and clean things up, darken certain areas, and add some more highlights. It's really entirely up to you. As always, I just want to emphasize practice is key. If without practice, it's very difficult to be able to master a style or technique. And so to enjoy the art of making things look 3-dimensional requires a lot of practice. I hope you enjoyed this practice. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I really enjoyed putting it together for you guys. I guess from this point on, it's really just understanding that practice is key. You have to practice. So take the 2 tutorials that you've just watched, the eyes and the lips, and just keep practicing and practicing. Next week we're going to focus on the nose as well as outlining the face. And then by the end of the month we'll be able to have a full face. How awesome would that be? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the lesson again, and remember, email me all of the work that you've been doing so that I can see and share, and have a wonderful day. Bye everyone.